Hello guys, this is Kudo, and today in this video I will show you how you can spawn object with ArFundation. So in the last video I show you how you can detect some plane, some ground and some wall with ArFundation, and in this video I will show you how you can spawn and move some object. So let's get into it. So for those who didn't look to my previous video, I will put a link in the description, and make sure to follow this video before watching this one. So last time I let you with the RS session origin, and RS session was created, and the AR camera. So basically this is the three tools we will using for be able to scan, and will be able to instantiate and move some object. So right now what we need to do, we need to go to the script folder, and let's create a script. So let's create a C# script, and let's name it AR manager manager spawn. All right, and let's open it in Visual Studio. So after opening in Visual Studio, we can remove the start function, but we need to have the update function because it will be useful for our code. So first thing we need to do, we need to create some variables. So let's create a header. So let's put a header because I like to use the header, and let's call this one ArFundation variable. All right. And in this header, what we want to do, we want to serialize field, and let's create a private field, and let's call this one. So we need to have the AR raycast manager. So before trying to access to variable, do not forget to import some library. So using so what we need to use is Unity engine.xr, and we want the ArFundation one, like this. And I think that should be it. So let's look for AR raycast manager, and in the AR raycast manager, so let's name this one AR raycast manager. So raycast manager, like this. So okay. And what we need to have, so let's make it private. So private, and we need the list. So we need the list of AR raycast hit. So basically the AR raycast list, the AR raycast hit is basically the result of the raycast intersection with the plane where we are trying to track. Okay, so let's create this list. So let's call this one hits because it will represent our hits, and let's make it a new list of array cast hit. Okay, so what we need to create another. So let's create another header. All right, let's call this one variable, simple variable. Okay, and in this header, what I need to create, so let's serialize field, and we need to create a private game object. So basically this will represent the object I want to instantiate. So object to instantiate, okay. And let's create another private. So private game object, and this will be a spawn object. So I will store the instantiate object in this spawn object based on the object to instantiate. And last one, what we need to do, we need to store so the private vector2, and we want, because we are working with phone, we need the touch position of our hand or finger when they're touching our device. So let's save this, and now let's create some functions. So first function we need to create, so let's create a private void, and this function will just basically handle, so let's call handle um, like this, handle touch device. So basically this will record what we want to do when our finger touching the device. So let's make if. So if input dot touch count lower or equal to 0, what we want to do, we just want to return. So basically, because this function will be called in update function, we don't want to waste some memory on our device, so we just want to return when nothing is happening else. So let's make things serious here. So let's create a variable. So touch will be equal to touch, and this one will be equal to input dot touches and our first finger. So basically this will record the first finger who is touching our device, because we don't need the multiple finger. The first one is basically okay. And after that, after we just create the variable, we need to store the position of the device. So basically touch position will be equal to touch dot position. Okay. And now what we need to do, we need to create a switch, and basically we will switch on the touch phase. So basically on the phone we got different touch phase, so touch dot phase, and what we need, basically we got 5 phase, so begin, move, stationary, end, and cancel, and the names stand for them. So this is the first time when we touch the device, when we move the finger, when we stay on the focus on something on the screen, when we remove the finger, and when sometime it's cancelled, maybe some bug or something like that. So basically we don't need the 3 of them. All right, we can save this, and basically we will handle everything on the begin and move functionality. So we can just copy paste this function and call them call him on the update function. And what we need to create, another function. So let's call this private void. So first object position, and basically in this function it will just be called on the begin function, and it will just basically move the spawn position, the spawn object on my first touch on my device. So what we need to check, so we need to put if. So we will need the array raycast manager dot raycast, and what we want to raycast is basically we'll ask for a list of array raycast. So we already have it, and what type of trackable we want to treat. And it will ask also a vector2 position. So we will have touch, so touches position, so touch position. So in second parameter we'll put the its, and the last parameter basically we'll use trackable, so trackable type dot, and what we are using, so sorry, cable type, and we will use plain with polygon, so plain with polygon like this. So basically, because I don't want to use all this stuff, what I want to do, I just want to copy paste this library, and I will add it here, so like this, using okay, and that will be very nice like this, and everything should work. Okay. So basically this if position basically say if our touching finger, when the ray is sent on on the AR session and the hit receive some plane we are detecting, this thing will return true and we can go for the next step. So what we need to create, so it's a pause. So basically it's right here. So the representation of a position and a rotation in a 3D space. So pause, and we'll call hit pause. So basically I will store the position of my 3D object, and what we want this to be equal is just hits. So it's the first one, so 0 dot pause. Okay, and now what we want to do, because we need to check, so if so spawn object equal to null, what we want to do, we just want to instantiate our spawn object. So spawn object will be equal to instantiate. So we want to instantiate the object to instantiate, and the spawn object, we need to attribute the position of this spawn object. So spawn object dot transform dot position will be equal to hit hit pose dot position. We can save this, and after the if, we just need to put a else. If it's already spawning, just put else like this and just copy paste this line like this. And what we want to do, we just want to call this function in our began phase. So we almost done it. So basically this will work each time I will touch my device, and each time I will try to go on the plane who is already detected on my RS session. But if I move my finger, nothing will happen. So we'll make another function to make this happen. So we can close this. So let's name the other function. So let's call it private void, and let's call move spawn object. And in this function, it will be very easy. We just want to call the first object position. So you will ask me, why don't we just put the first object position, or maybe rename it and put it on the move? It's just, I like when everything is stored at different place, and I can handle things differently. But basically you can just call this function whatever you want and call this here and here. But for me, I think it's more beautiful, and this is the way I like to code. So let's just copy this and paste that. So why this move spawn object called the first object position? So basically the move object will be the same as the first object position, because I will need to check this, and I will need to add the position. So let's save this and let's head back to Unity. Okay, so in our session origin, so let's add a AR Raycast Manager like this. And as you can see, we got some field empty. Do not worry about this, it's just an option. The Raycast Manager add it. If you want to use it, you can, but right now we already make the code to do that, so we don't need the Raycast prefab. So also you can, so we can just create an empty object. Let's call this one AR manager spawn, and let's reset this. Let's add the component, so AR Raycast, so AR spawn, AR manager, sorry, spawn. And right now it will ask me for AR Raycast Manager, so I just create in RS session origin, and it will ask me an object to instantiate. So basically I will just create an empty game object. Let's call this one parent spawn object, or maybe spawn object. Let's reset this transform, and let's create a simple cube, and the cube, let's put the scale of 0.1, 0.1, and 0.1. All right, and let's drag and drop this in our prefab folder. Okay, we can erase this, and do not forget to add your prefab on the object to inset. So basically, let's me rename this one spawn object ArFundation, like this, so we can save this. So in the last video I forget to tell you, but I pin it on the comment. When you want to build on your device Android, so when you go on build setting and player setting, make sure to have the scripting backend EL2CPP, and make sure to check this too, because on Mono this is not supported. Alright, so let's plug our device and let's build this thing. Okay, so as you can see, I already built on my mobile, and sorry again for the microphone part, but I tried to record it, and as you can see, they retrieve my desk, and let's try it to spawn the cube. So if I click on my device, as you can see, I spawn the cube, and if I try to move it, this just works fine. And if I try to move outside the area, this is not working. Again, if I type or if I move, as you can see, the cube is following my finger. So that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will add a bonus video on how you can erase the plane and how you can stop to let not the user move the cube if you want to fix this. And I hope you enjoy the video, and I catch you in the next video. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. So if content equal to like, or user learned something equal to true, user should thumb up plus subscribe. Else, user should dislike but help me to improve. Thank you, and I catch you guys next time.